Welcome back to the Mowing in the Dark podcast. I am your host, Aaron Sutter. Thank you for tuning in to another episode. Guys, it's been a good day today. It's just in the afternoon. My youngest son just got home from school. I've been doing a few odds and ends around the house. Went to the gym. We have a cover for our camper, and we had a windstorm like a week ago now, maybe 2 weeks ago, and it was so windy that it ripped our camper cover, and so we had to get a new camper cover, so I put that on today, and now I'm doing this. We've got some sickness that came to our house this week. My son has influenza A, my oldest son, Marcus, so he's laid up. So if you hear anything, any loud noises, they're watching Star Wars upstairs. And so, that's their sick day movie type thing. So my youngest son just got home from school. I think I already mentioned that, but it is what it is. It's kind of a lazier kind of day today. The weather's fine outside, but there's just nothing really to do, at least not much in the way of work. So it is what it is. I'm having kind of a lazy day today, but I'm still getting things done, like this podcast, like covering the camper, like doing a few things for office work, things like that. Not much, but doing a little, and just getting things done. So today, guys, I want to talk to you about whether you have considered possibly getting out of the business. I've considered it over the last year. I know there's a lot of people that have gotten out of the business over the last year. For whatever reason, could be, a better job came along where they get paid more money. Could be that they're just tired of lawn care. It could be all different kinds of things. And so I got to thinking today, I've thought about it, just because I've been doing it for 8 years now. I'm going into my 9th year, and it's kind of a grind these days. And I know there's people that listen to me that have been in the industry way longer than I have, and have been doing this for 20 years, and they're still going strong. But we can't look down on people for wanting to get out of the business, trying a different career. Maybe they're just tired of running their own business, and maybe it's time for them to say, you know what? No, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. I just want to go get a job and forget all this paperwork dealing with the clients. I just want to be done. And so we can't fault those people for wanting to do that if that's what they want to do. And I've had those thoughts this past year, and I'm sure some of you listening have had those thoughts as well. So before we really jump into it, I want to play today's show announcements, and then we will get right back into it. All right, so thinking about quitting the business. Now, I'm not considering it strongly, but I have looked around on job boards and things like that just to see what's out there, because honestly, I think I could probably make more money doing another job. However, when you add up all the things that your business buys you, all the things that your business pays for, it would really be hard to make that money. So let's go through some of the things that the business should be paying for you. All right, your cell phones. And that can include your wife's cell phone. That can include your kids' cell phones. You can pay for your family's cell phones. Now, in my household, I pay for Amazon Prime. Why do I pay for Amazon Prime through the business? Because I use Amazon Prime a lot for different things for the business. And so I pay for Amazon Prime so I can get that free shipping. With that, one of the perks of that is that we get the TV Amazon Prime. And so we get that. And so that's another perk. That's $9.99 a month or whatever it is. I don't know. It's probably gone up. Cell phones are, a couple $100 a month. And then you have like your vehicle. So I have my truck. Okay, the truck is in my name, mine and my wife's name. It's not in the business name. I didn't have enough credit for the business to be able to purchase it under the business name. So we purchased it under our names. So that truck, I actually leased the truck to my business. I lease it to my business for $1 a year. And that avoids a lot of insurance stuff and liability and all that stuff. So that truck payment is almost $700 a month. So I include that in what I pay myself. So I get paid right around $21 an hour. I'm telling you this. Now, a lot of guys aren't going to tell you what they get paid. They're not going to tell you what they're taking out of the business. I think they all should. I absolutely think they should. Because it's important to know. Like, I had no idea when I first started that my business could pay for cell phones. It could pay for all this stuff. I had no idea. I had to figure it out on my own. And so if you don't know these things, you need to know them, because that kind of can be included in what you pay yourself. So you might pay yourself, I don't know, $800 every 2 weeks. But on top of that, the business is paying for your cell phones. It's paying for your truck. It might be paying for some toys that you can use in the business and as a toy. It's so many different things. You could buy a vehicle and lease it to your wife for $1 a year. You really could do that. It's legal to do that. So your business could buy a vehicle and be paying for that vehicle, and you could lease it to your spouse for $1 a year. Now check with your CPA on that. I don't want to get you in trouble. Anything like that, check with your CPA. This is what I'm doing. Now, I don't lease a car to my wife. She has a car. It's paid for. So we're not doing that. But that's something to think about. And so all that could be included in your pay. So just realize that while you might only be paying yourself a small part, a small paycheck, you get the benefits of being an owner. So you get the benefits of profits. You can take the profit out of the business if you want to. You get to have a vehicle, the company vehicle. You get to have some toys if you can afford toys that the business can pay for, as long as you use them in your business. And you get that benefit. There are benefits to that. And so there's a lot of benefits to being a business owner that you don't get when you're an employee. And so you have to factor that in when if you're looking to do something else. You have to realize that all that stuff should be included in what you're paying yourself. Because if you go and get a job, you don't have a business to pay for those things anymore. So that stuff is going to have to come out of a paycheck that you bring home. That's a big thing. That is a huge thing. And so you have to consider that if you're thinking about getting out of the business. Because yes, if you got an office job, you could sell your truck and buy a used car and pay the thing off, and then you wouldn't have a payment anymore. I get that. You could definitely do that. But right now, we're talking about right now. So if you're considering that, there are some things that you need to add into that, and that's what we're talking about right now. So I would say that if you're sick of the business and you just want to wash your hands of the business, you have a couple of options. You could sell the business. You could just close the business and sell off your equipment. You could do that. You could, that's your basic two options. You could give all your clients away to other people and things like that and go get a job. Or that's basically your two options there. So I guess you really want to just think about the perks that you have as a business owner and talk to your CPA about different things that you can do to maybe give yourself more perks that your business could pay for. So even while you're taking a small salary, you're getting a lot of the perks that someone that's an employee wouldn't get. Now, beyond the pay, okay? If you're, like I said, if you're just sick of doing the work and you're sick of owning a business and you're sick of just dealing with it, you can go look for a job. And there are some jobs out there right now, but the job market is shrinking right now because we are in a recession. And so some places are laying people off. And so you have to realize that we're going into a really hard time right now. And so the jobs aren't super plentiful. But there are jobs out there and you can grab them. But you got to understand, unless you have a skilled trade like HVAC or welding or something like that, you could potentially be having a cut in pay because of all the perks that you get plus your salary. You could be taking a cut in pay, but it's up to you, because if you're just sick of the business, you can do that. Now, I've felt very discouraged and very sick of the business this year and really thought hard about whether I wanted to stay in it and keep doing it, because it's a grind. It's a grind when you're working solo, especially. It can really be a grind, especially in those hot summer months. It's just the same thing over and over again, and you're just dealing with all the normal stuff that we deal with. And so you just have to weigh your options if you're considering getting out of this business. Now, I would encourage you to look at everything and then decide if you want to stay in or get out. Because yes, you might be discouraged from the summer. Maybe you had a bad year this year and you didn't make as much money as you did the year before. Maybe your quality is slipping on your work. If you've got employees, maybe your quality of work went down, and so you're losing clients. And now it's a grind, even more of a grind, and you're just done. And so you have to consider everything. You have to consider everything when you're thinking about getting out of the business that you're in. And there's no right or wrong, guys. A lot of guys will look down, especially in the Facebook groups. If you tell people that you're considering getting out of the business, they talk down about you. They think you should be in this business forever and ever and ever. I don't plan to be in this business forever. All right? I don't. I might retire from it, or I might, just quit and do something else. All right, so sorry, I had to pause you guys. The furnace kicked on. The furnace is in the room with me here, and so I had to go up and shut it off. But I just want to give some encouragement to you guys that are out there right now and you're struggling. You're thinking, man, I'm just tired of this business. And I get it. I do. I get it. I understand. It's tough. It's hard. It's hard on the family. A couple years, we're coming out of it now, but my wife and I went through a rough patch and it's been tough. And we're coming out of it now, but it's been hard for a couple years. Just struggling with just the amount of work that I'm doing and just always being busy. And so it can be really tough. And there's so many things to think about when you're thinking about closing up your business. You've got a family to think about. You've got money to think about. You've got to support the family. It's really tough. And if you're miserable in your business, that's even worse, because it's like, I do not want to do this work anymore, but I feel stuck. And so I just want to encourage you that there is ways out. Okay, if you're feeling stuck and you want to get out of this business, there are ways out. You could maybe cut back on the work, go back to school for welding or something like that. Welding is always in demand, and get some of those type of jobs, or just look for, maybe you got to get two jobs for a while, a full-time and a part-time, to make ends meet until you can work up to getting a better salary if you decide to get out of the business and get a different job, or if you decide to start another business. That's an option too. You could cut back a little bit on your lawn work and start a whole new business. I've been considering that. I've been considering building chicken tractors, egg layer chicken tractors. I built ours here, and I've really been considering it. It would give me something to do over the winter, other than plowing snow, and I can sell them if I make them look nice, and build them properly. So that's just something I'm considering, maybe starting another business that I can do in the wintertime. Doesn't have to be all year, just do it in the wintertime, because most people get chickens in the spring anyway. So build a couple chicken tractors, say, hey, put it out on Facebook. If you want some of these, I've got some in stock that you can buy, and do that. There's a local lumber mill near me that builds sheds to try and make their ends meet. And I posted the one that I built, just saying, hey, look at what I built. Not that it was for sale or anything. And he said, hey, I'll take 50. And I was like, whoa, hold on there. Hold your horses there, son. I don't have it dialed in. I don't have a design dialed in or anything. But if I decide that, hey, I want to try something different, that could be a moneymaker. It really could. You could ship them all over the state, all over the country, for that matter. And they would be better than what you're going to get at Tractor Supply or some other farm store, because they're bigger. The one that I made, you can actually stand up inside the run and clean it out, or add things in, or get your food and water and stuff out of there. It's really nice. And then the back opens up and stuff like that. So that's neither here nor there, but just, you can think outside the box. I have friends from high school who actually build Lego sets and sell them. What they do, they don't necessarily, well, they do build them, but then they take them apart and they sell them on eBay. And these are like old Lego sets. So sometimes they have to hunt around for one piece, and they'll pay like $200 for one single piece of the set to complete it, so that they can sell it. And they sell the set for thousands of dollars sometimes. So it's a huge thing. Like that's what they do for a living, is sell Lego sets, old Lego sets. So there are different things out there that you can do. You just have to think outside the box. You have to think outside the box. My wife, she actually started a side business, where she goes to Goodwill stores and she'll buy secondhand stuff like knickknacks and stuff like that. And she started selling them on Facebook, and she's done very well with it. And now she's kind of transitioning a little bit. She's still doing some of that, but she's also got a booth in an antique store that's local to us. And she's actually buying new product, not used stuff, not knick-knacky stuff, but, well, it is kind of knick-knacky, but buying new product and putting it in there to sell. And she's having success with that. You just have to think outside the box. And she's got a website going too, which is really cool. And she's starting to make sales on that. And that can only build from here. So you just have to think outside the box if you want to get out of the business that you're in. Maybe you're listening to this wanting to get into lawn care from a different business. That's possible too. If you want to do that, just start small. Start part-time in your lawn care business. And do it nights and weekends. Push mower, weed eater, and a blower. That's all you need. And a vehicle to get your equipment from point A to point B. That's all you need to start. Get some clients. And then if you own the other business, you can cut back on the work there and add more work on the lawn mowing side. And get into the business that way slowly and build up. And then you get to a point where it feels safe to step from one business to the other. That's what I did when I left the hospital and started working on my business. It is possible, guys. You just have to think outside of the box sometimes. And you have to understand that it might not be a smooth transition. There might be some bumps in the road, but it may just be worth it. So I'm not planning to get out of the business, at least not this year. I'm planning to go all year next year, and we'll just see what happens. We'll see what life brings. And I'm working on myself this winter. Like I've said many times now, I'm going to the gym. I'm working out. I'm trying to build up my stamina, because last summer it was horrible. I felt horrible. I felt tired all the time. I just felt lackluster. I didn't feel very good. And so I'm going to the gym, build up my body so that I can have a better year this year. Maybe that's something you need to consider. Or changing your diet. I'm trying to change my diet. It's just, there's so many things that you have to think about and consider. If you're thinking about getting out of lawn care, that's fine. I don't judge you for that. I think if you need to, you need to. Do what's best for you and your family. But just remember that sometimes if what you want to do isn't there, you just have to pivot a little bit and think outside the box. All right, guys? So that's it for this episode. I know it was kind of a weird episode, and it was a slow starter for sure. But, it's something we got to think about. What's your exit strategy for this business? None of us want to do this forever. So, you got to think about your exit strategy now. Maybe I'll do another episode when I've thought about it a little bit more on exit strategy, on how you want to get out of this business when it's time to retire, or if you just want to step away from the business and be like, no, I'm just done. I should probably do another episode on this where I've thought through it a little bit more, maybe take down some notes, things like that. But this is what I had for today, guys. I was trying to line up an interview actually for this episode, and it just hasn't worked out. It's been kind of a couple weeks now where we've just been hitting and missing, and we just haven't been able to get our schedules together. Hopefully sometime this week I'll be able to get that recorded, and then it'll come out next week. So guys, again, that's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, subscribe to the podcast. Make sure that you share this episode with your friends, share it on your social media, and leave a rating and review. That would be really, really awesome if you could do that on Apple Podcasts, or on Spotify. You can at least leave a star rating there. So if you want to do that, it takes very little time. You just click the stars and that's it. 5 stars if you could, if you feel it's valuable enough. And also, don't forget that 12-month contract. Only $5.99. It's yours forever. Completely editable. If you don't like the terms and conditions, you can completely change them. You can change the complete format of the contract. It's just there to give you ideas. And if you like the way it is now, great. But if you want new ideas on how to form a new contract, I think it's a great way to go. Personally, not just because it's something that I created out of my mind, but that it will get ideas flowing how to format your contracts better so that you can do better business. All right, guys, that's it for this episode, and I will see you in the next episode.